is based on our failure. That
One FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Diana, join me on the Lall Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
And on the dot, that is 19 hours 20 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Hello there. Welcome to the August 1 edition of the Lall Show, right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. We come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 19 hours 20, and we tell it as it is. Those numbers that you can call us on this evening after our presentation, they are 226-745324, 622-2222, and 624-6456. And I almost forgot, it is Emancipation Day, so welcome to your Emancipation edition of the Lall Show. With that said, sir, namaste, and the floor is yours on this August 1.
You did not mention this outfit I have on.
Because I didn't get the one you promised me.
Well then I'll give you this one, brother. You know,
No, bro.
I was going to give you this outfit I have on, you know. I bought it in Ghana, you know. But it looks more Indian
Yeah, it does.
than African.
It does.
Right? Indians and Africans, you know, all their wear is similar.
Correct, yeah.
Very similar. Matter of fact, I was driving through Ghana, Kenya, and I saw a store and I stopped because they had this beautiful jacket, and I wanted one, but they didn't have my size. This is the best I've ever seen any African or any Indian wear. It's so beautiful. You know, I tried to I take them their numbers and try to get them to make one for me. I left my measurement, but they said it's a style they're not gonna touch for now. So I am out. But it's extremely beautiful. Man, you gotta see this thing. Oh no, I see beautiful outfits in Indian and African movies and see how they dress in Africa and India. Man, no, you gotta see this one. Josh, it's wonderful. You did not come into this life with your own will. Also, you will not leave this world with your own will. Did you know that, Mr. Josh?
Yes, sir.
Good. You're sure, you're positive on that one?
Positive, sure.
Good, that you're not in control.
No, no.
All right. Well, before I get into tonight's program, I just want to tell you, Josh, and tell all Guyana that I'm kind of little sad this evening as we celebrate emancipation.
What happened?
These criminals went and stole one of the company's vehicle. Yesterday morning from one of the employees' home in Crane. You know, he has a footage of them, you know, going in the car and dismantle the thing. But, you know, it's sad that so many carjacking and criminal activities going on in this country, and nothing is being reported. You know, people are not reporting these crimes anymore. A man loses car and it's not being reported. Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah. As for these blatant robberies, they're not being reported. You know, to the police. So the media doesn't pick it up. So people doesn't know what's happening in this land. Guys, I just want you to, if there's any way you put your eyes on it, the car is a silver gray premium, the old model, and the number is PPP 8195. And I don't mean it's a PPP car, okay?
Bad timing.
Because I know some people so damn
No, you were
illiterate.
PPP. You didn't know you were PPP.
No. Honda Civic,
Good.
right? During the '92 election, the car marked Honda Civic. And because of Civic, they broke up the car.
Yeah. The Civic. Evil wicked car.
No, so PPP 8195 is a silver gray premium. If you guys spot it anywhere, you can call me 624-6456 or 622-222 on WhatsApp. You know, I have to get back that car. I'll probably give you guys a little small change if I do get it back. I don't know what the police is going to do on it. But these are things we got to start filing lawsuits against the police force, you know, when we lose these things. Unless the police and the authorities have to pay, these people are not going to get serious. You know, but sometimes I ask myself, why these guys targeting the poor and the disadvantaged, you know? Go after the rich people, man. Go after the rich people. You know, go after the big fancy vehicles. You make triple money on that. You know? Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Let's get going. I am a bit sad, but whatever. I have to do the program tonight.
Yes, sir.
Friday I promised to speak about Sue. I am keeping my promise, Mr. Sue. Yes, Sue is my tenant. Sue said the Vice President Jagdeo, and I don't know what business he does. That was the answer he gave when he was asked about the relationship between him and Sue. Miss Harris, namaste. Guyana, and all of you watching from around the world, I want to say namaste to all of you. Tonight, I will share with you the little I know of Mr. Sue, who he is, what he does, and what he owns in Guyana. So, Miss Harris, please just stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And I'll be giving you it live. Okay?
Yeah.
Today, we're celebrating emancipation, freedom from slavery. Are we really free from the slave masters who brought our brothers and sisters from Africa and sold them into slavery? Are we really free? Free to control our own destiny, free to shape our own future, and free to manage our rich natural resources to benefit all of our people. Are we free, Ms. Harris?
Yet to be decided.
Are we free when only a few reaping and controlling everything in this country, while the masses, the true owners of it, still being treated like slaves for those few who are reaping the hog of Guyana's resources? Is this what you call freedom, Miss Harris?
Not me.
I visited Cape Coast Castle, the Cape Coast Castle. Miss Harris, Cape Coast was the capital of Gold Coast,
Ghana.
which is now Ghana. And the capital has been changed from Cape Coast to Accra. Don't ask me why they changed it. I don't know. And even if I did, I don't have the time to explain that, Ms. Harris. What I do know is driving from the now capital Accra to the original city Cape Coast is about 4 hours. Under the Cape Coast Castle, Ms. Harris, where the governor that used to be in control, be in command of Gold Coast at the time, where he lived and worked, is one of the dungeons where they used to keep the men and women they captured within Ghana and sold as slaves to be shipped to several parts of the world, including this part. Miss Harris, going to Africa and not visiting one of those inhumane, horrible underground dungeons they kept our brothers and sisters in before shipping them off to various parts of the world is like you never been to Africa. You hear me? If you don't go visit these things or see these things, you've never been to Africa. President Barack Obama and his family visited that same Cape Coast Castle, one of the slave dungeons in Ghana, and he said, as painful as it is, I think that it helps to teach all of us that we have to do what we can to fight against the kinds of evil that sadly still exist in our world today. Not just on this continent, but in every corner of the globe. Hear that? Those were President Barack Obama words when he visited the Cape Coast Castle, the dungeons. Miss Harris, when you walk into that castle, your body is not the same. When you're shown the different sections of the dungeons in which our brothers and sisters were imprisoned, it brings home the inhumane brutality that they faced. The floor, Miss Harris, the floor of the dungeons that you walk on is still the same. Man, when you walk on it, you can still feel the feces, blood, sweat, and tears of those men and women that were forcefully held there and then brought to this part of the world. Sad is not even a word to describe the emotion and feelings. It brings tears to everyone as you listen, as you hear the tour guide speak as to what and how those brothers and sisters were treated. Yes, it did. Ghana was the last stop in West Africa. And I decided to take the trip. That country, Miss Harris, that country alone had 72 dungeons alongside the coast. Today, there's about 40 of them visible. Just visible. You can't visit them. They're kind of run down and just part of it you can see. The Cape Coast one, yes, where the governor used to live, is there in its original form. Every and anybody goes there. As our brothers and sisters were dying in the chains beneath the earth, in the dungeons, Uncle and Auntie, the slave master's church was exactly above the dungeons. That was the first question I asked when I came out of the dungeons, looking up into the castle. I asked the tour guide, what's upstairs? And he said, that's the church. That's the church.
Where the masters worship.
Where the masters worship, exactly. And the other sections that you're looking up to is the living quarters in the castle. These are experiences no amount of words can describe, Uncle and Auntie. You just have to go there and witness it for yourself. Some pictures of myself and the dungeons are on the screen. You guys can take a look at it. As time goes by, I can elaborate a little more. For now, I will say this, Uncle. The Africans weren't humans in the eyes of the Europeans or the white people at the time. They were simply being treated like things or animals. Barack Obama and many other world leaders who visited Ghana been to that castle. Our Vice President Barajagdeo went to Ghana recently. Did he go there? I am just asking. Ghana and the rest of Africa is still in the dark, Miss Harris. And it will continue to be there for generations to come. You know why, Miss Harris? Because of corrupt leaders who continue to give away and sell out the resources of the country to the modern day slave masters and wealth stealers of the world. While the majority of the African people are living dirt poor. 40% of the Africans are living without electricity and clean drinking water. And that's not 40% of one country, Uncle. That's 40% of the entire African continent is living without electricity and clean drinking water. Proper access to phones, televisions, and the internet is not there. You see, some of the people have phones, but they have little or no access to the internet. so they are in the dark, Miss Harris, as to what is happening in the country and the world at large. I have been trying for a couple of days now to get in touch with 2 families in Ghana. And I had to go through the village chief to send a message to the families. That's how limited their access to modern day technologies are, Ms. Harris. This should never happen. Uncle and Auntie, this should never happen in a continent as rich as Africa, where all of the vital components to make today's technology are found in abundance in Africa. For example, Miss Harris, all of those phones, all the phones that are being manufactured, these high-end phones that are being manufactured by the European, North American, and the Chinese, the developed world, cannot be built, Miss Harris, without the ingredients, the components that sits in Africa. That's how important Africa is. They have everything, Uncle and Auntie. Everything that has this world progressing and running, man, they own it. Without those resources, the whole world would be at a standstill. Yet the masses of the African population can barely eat a meal when the day comes. Is that freedom, man? Huh? Is that freedom to manage what they own? Is that freedom to get what is rightfully theirs? Is Africa really free? Really free? Is Guyana really free? Miss Harris? Do we have access to our resources? Are we managing our resources, Miss Harris? Could we move on, please?
We should.
Most of those people are just going through the motions of life, living one day at a time, pounding cassava, making fufu to eat one meal a day. Uncle and Auntie, in a nutshell, the masses of the African population does not know what the leaders are doing behind their backs with their resources. No, they don't know what they're doing with their wealth. They haven't a clue what the foreigners, the wealth stealers, and their government leaders are doing with their wealth. If they only know, Uncle, overnight it can be a different Africa. But they don't know. They don't know. I see Iraq. Big protests going on in the parliament. They're living in the parliament. People are beginning to wake up all over. Sri Lanka, run out the president with a small boat. Those people wake up, but they wake up too late. I am convinced that what is happening in Africa is raising its head up in Guyana, right here. But I'll try my best to educate you people in the simplest of ways. I hope and pray as we celebrate emancipation today that you people wake up and don't allow Guyana to become another Africa with these corrupt politicians who are working hand in hand with the foreign exploiters or wealth stealers. Everywhere you turn, Miss Harris, everywhere you go in Africa is deals upon deals that you hear from every African citizen, man. They're telling you plain how the African leaders are making deals with all these foreigners. They're doing an extension, Miss Harris, at the Zimbabwean International Airport, which I quickly spotted as I arrived at that airport in Zimbabwe, you know. The Chinese were all over it. I asked the assistant regional immigration officer, who is also a doctor by profession, stationed at the airport, what's going on? And he hadn't a clue. He hadn't a clue about when the project will done, who is building the project, and the cost of the project.
As usual.
I told him that project will be a milking cow for the politicians in Zimbabwe on the backs of himself and the Zimbabwean people. Then I opened his eyes as to what is going on here in Guyana with the CJIA. The renovation going on, what, 8 years now? They changed a couple zinc sheet there. The man, everything they have been doing in Guyana with the Chinese, the Americans, Australians, Indians, Canadians, issuing permits and licenses, giving them acres upon acres of our rich forest and mineral lands for next to nothing, Miss Harris, and collecting kickbacks, is the exact story going on all over in Africa. Everything. Exact story, exact picture. Uncle, let me ask this question, Miss Harris. Who is checking the Google license and permits issued to the foreigners in this country? What are they doing with it? Who checking that?
It's a very important question. I can't say the answer.
What they're doing with it? Anybody know? Who is checking the gold, the diamond, the bauxite, the manganese coming out from the ground, going away in boatloads and plane loads out of this country? I asked a few persons at GGMC, at the Gold Board, and at GRA. Ms. Harris, the people who are responsible for monitoring and overseeing all these foreign companies and to collect the little nothing royalties and jail tax. You know what they said to me? Every one of them I spoke with said, Glenn, we can't even go in to any one of those places or companies you talk about, much less to ask any questions. What I'm telling you, Ms. Harris, who is really in control of our wealth in this country called Guyana? You have foreigners digging out our assets, and the people in our state agencies who are responsible for monitoring and collecting the jill, the little jill, you know, the few pennies due to me, is saying that you got to be joking, Glenn. Them can't go there. Isn't still slavery all over again we looking at, bro? Huh? Miss Harris? That our people are being prevented from even asking questions about their own wealth, their own patronage? Huh? Is this emancipation? Huh? Are we celebrating emancipation today? Emancipated from what? Slavery? then how is it that we have these foreign wealth stealers with all the powers over our state agencies, our resources, and them got the audacity to tell we what we can and can't do, and ask where we can go and where we cannot go, Ms. Harris? You believe this thing? This is the emancipation we are happy to celebrate today. Them a tell we where we can go and where we cannot go in our country called Guyana. Let me share this example. The Chinese built an 8-lane highway from the city Nairobi in Kenya to the border of Ethiopia. That highway is 1,035 kilometers long. Miss Harris, you gotta hear this. I first asked a taxi driver that picked me up from the airport about the highway, and he told me the highway used to take 1.5 hours from the airport to Nairobi, the city. And now they will do it in half an hour, 30 minutes. When I heard the cost of the highway by the Chinese, I told the taxi driver, because I had him for 2-3 days, you know, his grandchildren will be slaving to pay for the highway too. He left shocked. And I told him, this is when you want to hang your hat where your hand can't reach it. This is when we brown, black, and purple people want to drive and live like the white man without considering the danger they are putting our children and grandchildren through. The corrupt leaders in Kenya, leaving generations indebted to the Chinese, all in the name of that highway. And they call that progress, Miss Harris. It's the same thing going to happen right here very soon. And it will be progress and development for this country. But y'all don't know that generations to come will be working to pay the white man or the Chinese man. Yes, the interest rate alone.
That make us start talking Chinese.
Africa is still extremely wealthy, and they are in debts up to their noses.
Wow.
Guyana is so wealthy, and we got just over $3 billion debt and can't pay that. You hear that? Yeah. Only 3 and we can't pay. I saw Jagdeo and Ali going to move Guyana from that $3 billion to $5 billion debt.
Yeah, they're borrowing too more.
They went to New York last week and signed a MOU to put on we back $2 billion more debt.
Who agreed to that?
You already have billions in debt that you cannot pay. I just tell you that. Still borrowing to eat and pay salaries. And now we're going to throw on our back another chunk of loans. Yes. While all we're getting is a few $100 million from the isle a year for quite a while into the future, according to Jagdeo. So you're borrowing billions, right? You hear me? You're borrowing billions. You're already in billions in debt. You're still borrowing money to feed people and run this country and pay salary. You're only getting a few million, 100 millions, according to Jagdeo, but you're borrowing billions. The slave masters indebting Guyana using these incompetent or corrupt politicians, whichever word you want to describe them as. Why would our politicians do this to us, may I ask, Ms. Harris? Half of that money will disappear into thin air. And the other half will be used to put in one or two fancy infrastructure, yes, in which you people will clap your hands and say, yay, yay, this is progress under the PPP. Not seeing and caring about the danger that lies ahead for all of us, including our grandchildren. With these US billion-dollar loans, Uncle, the debt level on our backs, you cannot make a move to increase public servant salaries and pension packages. You know that, right, Ms. Harris?
Exactly.
You can't, because as now the debts you have, they're talking that you can't increase the salaries. Every public servant should have been carrying home about $1 million a month right now. Minimum. Instead, the money they're carrying home can't even pay their rent and light bill, much as put biscuit in the children's lunch kits. I see the exact thing going on in Ghana. And now the government of Ghana waking up and have the police and the army hustling to monitor and drive out the rest of them, the foreigners. In Ghana, not a single one of the citizens working in the mining camps, I am told. You hear that, Ms. Harris? The Ghanaian people don't work in the mining camps.
Very similar to that.
The foreigners come in and eventually bring in their own workers.
Not even security guard.
Yes. Doing their own things.
Wow.
As if they own Ghana.
Very
Go in the back dam right here, man, and see for yourself what is going on with the foreign companies. Check how many workers working with them there. And if they do, check how much Guyanese workers working with them there. And if they do have Guyanese, see what kind of work they're doing. Anybody remember the other day a few Guyanese men who was to work the tail end what the Chinese throw away? When they got there, the security run them off the place.
Yes.
And one of them drop down and dead.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you get a heart attack.
Yep.
You people will wake up soon and there will be no emancipation to celebrate because there will be nothing left but debts for you, your children and your grandchildren. Yes, to slave away, to pay back. That's where Guyana is heading. Nigeria is one of the richest countries on earth.
Yes.
And they are sitting on 108 billion US dollar in debts.
Yeah.
Pumping oil for over 50 years.
Still broke.
Three-quarters of their population living with $1 and $2 a day.
Wow.
And they will never be able to pay that debt. And they will never know more than that $1 and $2 a day life, Miss Harris. I hope that can change. And I also hope that what is happening here will open your eyes
Yes.
so that we can never get to that level
Yes.
where we also would have to live with $1 and $2 a day
Yes.
with mountains of debt on our backs. You know, many of you are eager to hear me talk about Mr. Sue. Yeah, Sue is important.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying here is much more important than Mr. Sue.
Yes.
I come in with Sue just now. Miss Harris, this thing is really bothering me, you know.
Bother me too.
We got oil blocks that could have been sold and pay off all the debt in the whole Caribbean, not only Guyana.
Wow.
We still have the relinquished parts of the oil blocks in our hands that we can properly auction to pay out our debts and develop this country. We have humongous gold and diamond fields, endless acres of timber, bauxite, manganese, uranium fields, lithium fields. Man, Miss Harris, Mr. Tony, if these are properly managed and controlled, this country can become the king of the world overnight. You don't have to drink that stinking water. You don't have to live in blackouts. You don't have to send your children on mud roads to school.
I'm back for hampers.
You don't have to go borrow billions for infrastructure, man. You can really be living the life of the white European and the North American world. Every one of you listening to this program knows what I'm saying is true, you know.
So true. Yes.
You will go to bed tonight and say everything Glenn Lall talking is true.
Yeah, the conscience.
But you wouldn't come out
No.
and do something or say something. And this is the danger that third world nations facing right across this world. You see, you guys saw what happened in Sri Lanka, man.
Yeah.
In less than $1 a day, those people have to live with for quite a while into the future because of one man and his family, his two brothers and his nephews. It was too late, uncle. They should have stood up and run that bastard out of there a long time ago.
Years ago.
You guys got to stand up. Stand up and let's run these out of office what they're doing to us.
Yes. True.
Now let's turn to Sue.
Yes. Sue.
Miss Harris, let's turn to Sue. You're eager to know who is the man, Sue.
Yeah, who is Sue?
Definitely tell the people.
Jack Dale had given me the usual runaround answer when I asked him what Guyana getting from all these deals signed with Zinjin, Oh My, Troy Resources, and the others. He even said at his last press conference that the contracts, that those contracts should and must be made public.
Yeah.
Yes. I did write to GGMC, GRA, and the Ministry of Natural Resources. And we are still waiting on them to issue a copy of those contracts.
Wow.
Now, Tony, you tell me something. How on earth can things like this be allowed to happen secretly in a country where me and you wealth is placed in people's hand and we don't know what is there for us? Eh?
Yes.
Can somebody answer this question, man?
Please.
How on earth our assets could be bought and sold for hundreds of millions of US dollars and we not getting anything out of that, man?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Not even little information. Is this freedom?
No.
Is today emancipation
No.
we celebrating?
No.
Huh?
No.
A Canadian company called Aurora Gold Mines came here. The PPP give them permits, license and concessions with acres upon acres of our rich gold fields in 2011. The next thing you know, it landed in a Chinese company hand named Zinjin. Eh? Everything. The land, the concession and everything.
Everything.
Right? Where hundreds of millions of US dollars was paid to the Canadian company by the Chinese who took it over.
Wow.
Eh? Where in the world your land is being sold by a foreigner to another foreigner and you collecting nothing, man?
And you have
Eh?
you can't say anything.
Eh? In which you have no say
Yes.
and still don't know what is going on.
Yes.
Are we still free in this country, man?
No. No. No, we're not.
Hmm? Is today really emancipation?
No, it's not.
Hmm?
No.
Mr. Sudadi, according to Jagdeo, they're in this country a long time,
Yeah.
Mr. Raj. A long time now. And they're friends with the PPP. Could you play the tape? Let the people hear him, man?
Yes. Play the tape.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujarong?
So, so my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place. Yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes. Yes. He is a friend of ours. His father was here from many years ago.
I mean, he lives next door to you.
Yes. Yeah. You're asking me to comment on someone whose business basically I don't know about. I don't get involved with him beyond the pleasantries and all of that.
You heard the vice president himself, Uncle and Auntie. When pressed about Sue's activities in Guyana, Jagdeo said, Sue is a businessman, but he doesn't know what Sue does. Well, let me tell you guys what Sue or Mr. Sue does and what was given to him by the PPP government that Jagdeo says he knows nothing about. It doesn't have one person in the PPP government that doesn't know Sue. Sue is known to everybody and can get anything and everything he wants in this country. Just like a handful of other Chinese businessmen and women in this country. They can get anything and everything. So if I tell you you don't know, if I tell Guyana that you don't know what Mr. Sue does, is incorrect, my friend.
That's true.
He's only trying to make we something that we are not. You know, Miss Harris, where do I start with Mr. Sue? You know,
Start in the beginning.
what he owns and doesn't own.
Wow.
You know, what he has in his hand,
Yes.
right? And what he doesn't have in his hand.
Yes. We got coming.
Let's begin, Uncle and Auntie, with GGMC Records,
Okay.
right? This is GGMC Records.
Only. It's just
Only, yeah.
Only GGS.
It shows that Sue presently has 10 active mining permits,
Wow. 10.
which covers over 12,000 acres of precious stones, gold and diamond fields under his name.
One man.
Yes, under his name.
Wow.
He is the owner of several pieces of land across Guyana,
Wow.
and all was granted under the PPP government.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
Jagdeo stewardship.
Yes. Wow.
But the vice president says he doesn't know what kind of business Sue does.
Wow. Wow. He owns
Hear that?
Guyana. He owns Guyana.
All he knows is Sue is his tenant. He collects rent only.
Okay.
Uncle and Auntie, Sue is also big in the exportation of this country's lumber, timber.
Wow.
Yes. And Jagdeo say he doesn't know what business Sue does.
Wow.
Mr. Sue is also big in the construction sector too. And yet Mr. Jagdeo says he doesn't know what business Sue does.
I don't know.
Sue. Sue has registered over 20 companies in this country over the years. Covering from rope to soup in this country.
Wow.
Sue was able to acquire almost all of the prime lands on the east bank of Demerara, where the new highway has to run through.
Oh my Lord.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. In which he has been openly reselling them to locals and other foreign companies.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Mostly foreign companies. Guess we can't afford it.
Sue presently is sitting on over 3,000 acres of land not far from Splashman Water Park, in which I am told he's going to build his own fairy tale city.
Oh, Disney World.
Yes. That land is we land. So don't get confused, uncle and auntie, or mix up. You got to ask him how he get it or how they get it.
And how much he paid for it.
Yeah. And who hand it came from. And our Vice President Sue is just a tenant
I don't know.
and a friend. And he don't know what business he does do.
No. It's a tenant. He's my tenant.
You want to hear this, Tony?
Yeah, one more.
Sue was the first private company to have received an import and export fuel license in Guyana, which was approved by none other than the office of the Prime Minister under Sam Hines. Yes.
Who was the president?
Well, who was the president? You know what I mean? You don't have to tell you that, man.
Yep.
This one-of-a-kind fuel license allows Sue and his company to import fuel and sell fuel anywhere in Guyana. Even on the sea.
What?
They are allowed to refuel ship out there. Anywhere in the Caribbean. That's the kind of license, fuel license Mr. Sue was granted by the PPP government.
Wow.
He's my tenant.
Big guy.
Not even the country Guyana can sell fuel out there, man. Or the Caribbean. Tony, let me explain a little if you don't understand.
No, I don't understand.
The kind of money we are talking about there when someone is granted a license for fuel,
Billions.
you know, is one of the biggest money-making business in any country.
Wow.
The government of Guyana is making billions in the treasury from the importation and resale of fuel. The office of the Prime Minister allowed Mr. Sue to compete with the government, selling fuel.
What?
Yes, anywhere. And Barajagdev said he don't know what business Sue involved in.
He's only my tenant.
Yes, he's only my tenant, only collecting rent. At one time, they had Chinese companies selling fuel without license in the interior.
In Guyana.
In Guyana.
It's always in Guyana.
You remember, I get lawsuit and I still paying $10 million to Van West Charles.
Yes.
As soon as the coalition going, man, was a fuel license gone in them hand. Oh Lord, it's a money making business. Oh Papa, and you only go to special people, company or hands. Oh Papa, can't talk much, nothing more. Before I get another lawsuit, I'm gonna pay another $10 million. Because you got some judges like to say pay $10 million. Yes, you can't talk in this country. Yes, I talk about the same fuel license.
Yes.
Who's on the landing?
Yes.
Van West Charles sue me, the judge had $10 million to pay.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I still paying.
Wow.
That's separate from Brasington them
Wow.
and Ramotar.
Wow.
You understand?
Yes.
This is Van West Charles from the new AFC.
Yes. So you get from both
Yeah, man, and you gotta pay them all the time, man.
sides.
I love you guys, though. Yeah, man, I love you people. All of you, too.
They're not going to stop you.
What a Guyana. What a Guyana. But his mouth can't stop.
Thank you. Thank
God Almighty have to stop it.
you. Thank you.
And I don't think he's going to stop it.
No. And no man can stop it.
The Gold Board records, uncle, even show that Mr. Su was granted a gold license. Me not talk about gold permit, you know.
No.
You hear me?
Yeah. Like,
I'm talking about a gold license. So don't get confused.
I'm confused.
Right?
Explain.
Don't get confused with gold permit and gold license.
Okay.
This gold license, only a handful of people in this country got it. This license allows you to buy and sell gold anywhere, anyhow,
In the world.
and sell anywhere in the world too. Just like the guy had a gold board, man.
Yeah.
You understand? They can walk on the road and say, come, you got gold? Bring it here, I buy it.
Yes.
That what Mr. Su was granted.
Chinese man got it.
Yeah. Imagine Mr. Su can compete with the Guyana Gold Board, and we vice presidents say he doesn't know what Su does do.
He's my tenant.
Su is just my tenant. Oh gosh, Uncle, Mr. Su also has a security service
What?
with some high-powered weapons. I don't even think the army or the police force got weapons like that.
Wow. You got license for that too.
Mr. Su, I am told, is one of the richest men in Guyana.
Wow.
And Jagde wants us to believe that Mr. Su is only a tenant in his property.
Property.
Yeah.
There is nothing in Guyana, I am told, that Su is not involved in, Miss Harris. All those mining permits, all our precious land, concessions, tax waivers and deals, the fuel license, logging, trucking, boating services, security services, and now in the oil sector. Su name got a call in every single thing in this country, man. This is a trend happening all over the world now. The wealth stealers coming in to your country, befriend the politicians they want under their wing by renting something from them. You know, Miss Harris?
Yes.
Paying them a fat rent.
Buying them off.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And there the relationship starts.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
I nearly dropped dead when I hear that most of our leaders are also landlords and landladies, you know, of foreign companies in this country.
What?
Yeah, man.
What?
Yes. It's the fastest and easiest way to bridge connections to get what you want, Miss Harris, with the leaders of this land.
Wow.
If I want to get something, let's say from the Minister of Agriculture, I find out if he got anything for rent. Offer him triple. Yes, triple in US dollars. And there you go. Me and he become friends overnight. And then the entire agriculture ministry falls in my hand. I am told, right? You guys can let me know. The Chinese renting a lot of buildings all over the place from officials in every sector, every ministry, just to get what they want. Wow. I love it. I don't have anything to rent, and I can't get anything from it. And even if I have to rent, I don't want to rent it. I prefer to put poor people to live in it. This is what is happening in front of your eyes, Uncle. In your own country, with your own God-given riches. Yes. I find out who in the government have properties that the foreigners renting, and you will see what's going on. They do that all over in Africa. They're going to and rent the prime minister, the president, the minister's buildings, pay them if it's 3,000 or 4,000, pay them 15,000, 20,000 a month. And they're happy with that. And then the deals began. You think sewer rent Jack Dale house because he want to rent Jack Dale house? Did Jack Dale tell you how much you collect? Me, I don't know and I don't want to know. Mr. Sue is a billionaire in American dollars, I am told.
That's right. That's right.
And paying rent as a tenant to be vice president. Yeah, only rent. Me ain't saying nothing else, you know. So don't watch me like this, man, Tony. I am only saying is rent. Miss Harris, like you vex, like you want me to say something else. No, I am not. The man collecting rent and nothing more, okay? Leave it like that. Right.
That's what the man said. He said
He comes and goes. Right. He is a mystery man. And that is what Mr. Jagde wants all of us to believe.
and I believe.
Nice going, Vice President.
I believe.
Keep it up, sir. I believe.
I believe too.
I believe. You have another tape there to play? Could you play it? You got another tape? Let us hear another piece of this tape, man.
As a final step, Sue took our colleague, Mr. Chan, next door to meet the Vice President himself.
Thank you so much for seeing me.
Yeah, please have a seat.
Jagdo avoided talking specifics, but told us how close he is to Sue.
Do you understand our deal in detail?
I'm not getting involved in business. You will get the support. Sue is my friend. He gets all the support.
We have to be clear about all the agreements.
Sue deals with all the agreements. I don't.
I understand. I understand.
The thing is that my thing is that I'm in government.
I understand.
So I assist from government side.
I know.
That's it.
Play that tape, play real there, man? Yes. Man, could you play back that tape, me, man? Play back that, rewind that tape and play it back.
As a
bro.
final step, Sue took our colleague, Mr. Chan, next door to meet the Vice President himself.
Thank you so much for seeing me.
Yeah, please have a seat.
Jagdo avoided talking specifics, but told us how close he is to Sue.
Do you understand our deal in detail?
I'm not getting involved in business. You will get the support. Sue is my friend. He gets all the support.
We have to be clear about all the agreements.
Sue deals with all the agreements. I don't.
I understand. I understand.
The thing is that my thing is that I'm in government.
I understand.
So I assist from government side.
I know.
That's it.
You know, the thing is that I'm in government and I assist from the government.
Of course. He's my 10.
You know,
He's my 10.
you know the Vice News, Ms. Harris, the Vice News confirmed that the Chinese government is collaborating with these people like Sue to corrupt our leaders. Hence, all the contracts goes to the Chinese companies.
Wow.
You know that? Have you been seeing that? Wow. This is why the airport could have been built. What could have been built for far less than $30 million US is now $170 million and counting.
What?
You know why? Corruption, uncle. Yeah, man. All that debt for me back. The people boast about the East Coast Road contract that went to China Rail due to a middleman like Sue. I ain't saying Sue, you know, like Sue. Mr. Sue boasts about having a quarry, boasts about having prime lands for a top-class hotel and casino.
Wow.
They boast about the Chinese company getting the Harbor Bridge contract to build it at $260 million. You hear me? That Harbor Bridge story, I remember I talk about it a whole year now. Jack, they wanted us to believe that a Chinese company will own it. And how we going to pay toll. Then when I expose, it's not no Chinese man going to own it. Now they said the Guyana government going to build it. They put it to a $260 million and give a Chinese company. Man, uncle, I think you built for less than $100 million. So it's 160 million plus. They clap it in your back there, American dollars. Yes, just like the airport. Oh yes, they boast about Sue involvement with the Amelia Hydrofall project. Remember Jack Dave said a Chinese company going to be the owner?
Yes.
And sell Guyana electricity?
Yes.
And Winston Brasington? Yes. The man was sue me. Said we not got no risk. And behind the document as he opening his mouth, he stink mouth telling Guyana we have no risk. Behind his back. You know?
Yep.
I can't help this thing hurting me.
Yes.
You know?
I know.
For these people to sue you and collect it for almost 40 million from me.
Yes.
And you're lying to this nation in my face.
Yes.
You know? When we kept fetching all the deadliest of risk.
Yes.
Yeah, man. You know? And now you come and say, well, we have a retender. Hmm?
Yeah.
Was it Mr. Sue? Huh? Let me ask Brasington and Jack Dave this. Was it Mr. Sue who would have been the Chinese company? Or one of his company would have been the Chinese Hydrofalls deal? I'm just asking.
Yes.
You can sue me too for asking.
Let's see.
Wow. I talked about these things many moons ago, before the Vice News reporter come to Guyana.
Yep.
But none of y'all take me serious. A foreign reporter had to come for open y'all eyes when Lall was pounding it in y'all heads all these years back. Check the Kaieteur news, man.
Yes.
Google it. Since 2007, I have reported these things.
Yes.
Hmm?
Nobody believe. Nobody believe.
Uncle, kick a stray dog on the road at any given time. And the Vice President, Jack Dave, knows all the details. Jack Dave knows every employee right across the public sector by name
Yes.
and what work they do.
Yes.
And I am not exaggerating, it's true.
Yes.
He knows whether he can trust you
Yes.
or not,
Yes.
whether you are on his side or not.
Yes.
He knows everything that goes on in those state agencies and ministries.
Yes, he does. So true.
And he knows every foreigner who comes here and what they get and in which sector. And now this man wants me to believe he doesn't know what Sue, his tenant, does for a living.
Wow. Wow.
Uncle and auntie. Uncle and auntie, let me make this thing more simple, man.
Yes. Make
You have a tenant and you don't know what a tenant does for a living. You don't know if he's a gambler, a gangster, or a drug dealer.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ever.
You don't know that your own tenant
Yes.
is one of the biggest private landholders and one of the wealthiest men in your country, in this country. Is who believe that, man?
Nobody.
Eh?
No one.
Huh? Sue is one of the biggest wheeler and dealer in Guyana.
Yes.
He wheels and deals all the contracts
True.
in every section.
Wow.
You better check if he's not a tenant for them other.
Don't go there.
Man, I just called. I call it no name.
Don't go there.
No, man.
Don't go there.
From the others, and I'm talking on both sides, you know.
Yes, of course.
From the others,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Both parties.
We were all humans
Yes.
until race disconnected us.
Yes.
Religion separated us.
Yes.
Politics divided us.
Yes.
And wealth classified us.
Yes. Yes. Say it again. Repeat that.
We were all humans until race disconnected us.
Yes.
Religion separated us.
Yes.
Politics divided us.
Yes.
And wealth classified us.
That's right.
Happy Emancipation Day,
Yes.
Guyana. I love you guys, and I wish you all the very best.
Love you too.
Like my African outfit, Miss Harris,
Oh, yes.
Tony.
Yes.
It looks Indian, right?
It does.
But I love it. I love it.
Well,
And I'll take about 2-3 telephone
Yes,
calls and
indeed.
call it a night.
there we go.
because it's emancipation.
Indeed.
I will
Happy
have a glass of wine.
emancipation to all
I'll have
of
a glass of
Guyana.
wine.
If you feel you have something to celebrate tonight, happy emancipation to you, Guyana.
Happy emancipation once again.
You can
Indeed.
call us this evening on 226-7453. You have a call already? Caller, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Happy Emancipation Day to all.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we have the British emancipated Guyana from the British slavery. But what about the slavery that ExxonMobil has imposed on it with the help of our government, compliments of the APNU AFC and now the PPP civil government?
You want me to comment on that? You want me to comment on that, brother?
No. I don't want you to comment. I am just saying we got emancipated 1838, since 1838 from the British slavery. How long is it going to take for us to get emancipated from the ExxonMobil slavery right now? And who's going to be the William Wilberforce and the fighting to fight emancipation from that slavery? It certainly is not going to be Mr. Aubrey Norton for sure. I think he's part of the Exxon team that enslaved his brothers and sisters in Guyana.
Unless you do not get a change of the leadership in this country. Complete change from the PPP, the PNC, and the KFC. Unless those crop of leaders don't be replaced by somebody else, forget it.
We all understand, but on this Emancipation Day, I, as a Guyanese, I would love to extend to my African brothers and sisters. Aubrey Norton and the PNC is not your savior. They have no interest in you at all. If Aubrey Norton wouldn't even say it when we negotiate a contract to give Guyanese a better life. He doesn't want to say the word we negotiate. That tells you he is on the side of the exploiters. He's worse than the slave masters to join the slave masters. Exxon is worse than the slave masters.
Well, I want to add, it's not Norton alone.
Well, no. On this day, I'm not going to talk about the Indians and American brothers. This is Emancipation Day. I'm just talking for my African brothers. I'm not talking for them.
Okay.
I just want to beseech them. I can't. We as outsiders cannot tell them who to choose for their leaders. But I would like to beseech them to choose leaders with integrity and not sellouts who would sell them out to the slave masters like the old leaders sold them to the white slave masters. I am begging them, beseeching them to please find leaders with integrity and who will fight for their rights. We can't tell our brothers whose leaders to choose, but we can tell them what type of leaders. You want leaders with integrity and who cares for you as a people, who will want to see you, who wouldn't want to. I hear they found a protest. They want to protest. They want to protest extrajudicial killings. How long will you keep on bringing up one thing after another, resuscitating old nonsense? Why do you want to pay a protest to fight? You want to fight for the rightful share of the oil wealth that's there. He doesn't want to do that, but you want to bring up old stuff for extrajudicial killing? I mean, that is what he sees right now. Is people suffering from? Our black brothers and sisters, just like the Indian brothers and sisters, we are suffering right now. We don't have enough. We barely have enough to buy food stuff right now. I mean, between me and you, when our brothers and sisters who are robbing and stealing from people in the streets, they're only doing it because they don't have their rightful share of the oil that belongs to them. If they get their rightful share, every Guyanese will be getting thousands of US dollars a month. They won't be stealing and robbing anybody, their fellow brothers, for that. So I would like to appeal to my African brothers and sisters, please choose leaders who would fight for you, fight for your children, and fight for your people, to get their rightful share of what belongs to them as a citizen of this country. This oil belongs to every single Guyanese. It's on this day the descendants of the people who enslaved enslaved our black brothers and sisters, mostly the ones in Scotland, they got paid by the British. They got paid for their slaves. After the British freed the slaves, they got paid millions of pounds. Those same people are taking those millions of pounds and investing in oil companies and are taking away the wealth that belongs to the same African people here in Guyana. So the Africans will be getting kicked both ways. Would you please get leaders who will fight for you to get your rightful share of what belongs to you? Please, I beg of you.
I hear you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well said.
And I feel your pain.
Well said.
I feel your pain. I'm happy that some of you feeling my pain here. You know? When you have leaders who can't speak for you, who can't stand up for you, who can't fight for you, you know, for your own thing, you know, do you really need to have them there, man?
Who refuse to use the word renegotiation.
Do you really want to call these people your leaders?
No. Leaders.
Who are they leaders of? Where are they leading us to? Because if you are so scared to even mention a word like renegotiation, because it's become so politicized, then who are you? Why are you scared of anything? Leaders are not scared of anything.
That's right.
Exactly.
Leaders are not scared to say
You
what
know
they
something?
feel.
You know something I noticed they're doing now? The PNC holding press conferences, and they're sending 2-3 little underlings.
The younger ones, yes.
The underlings to come and say 2-3 line and go
That's
away.
it, yes.
You know, you guys gotta hold the press conferences. You, the leaders,
Yes.
the people of this country elected you,
Yes.
and they want to hear from you.
That's right.
And that goes for Mr. Ali and Mr. Jagdeo.
Yes.
And Mr. Ramjatan and Mr. Norton.
They want to hear from you people. Hold press conferences.
You have held
Ramjatan never hold
yourselves-
one until now.
No, because they've held themselves out as leaders, and in my humble opinion, they've never demonstrated any kind of leadership quality.
I have invited them to come on this program.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've never come.
They're not.
For like over a year and a half.
Yes, I've
nearly
been
2
inviting
years
them.
you've been inviting them and they've never come. But that just goes to show, like, the Guyanese people need to realize that if these are your crop of leaders who express no kind of desire to actually
Fight for you.
fight for you and to plot a path for you to trod as their followers, then these are not leaders. If these people don't have a plan for you, they're not leaders.
We need new leaders.
We need new leaders in this country. We don't have leaders in this country. People are scared to speak their mind. And if you're scared to speak your mind, then you can never be a leader.
They're not scared to speak their mind. Is that their tongue is tied.
It's been tied to a check or a contract.
To a check. To
Exactly.
a check leaf.
Yes.
Hello.
Right.
Caller, good
Caller.
evening and welcome.
Hi, good night, Mr. Ben.
Good night.
Good night.
Every night, every day is be out there, Joe. I think this country need to shut down and get new leader immediately. I think this country need to shut down immediately and find good leaders.
We agree with you.
We agree with you.
Yeah,
but
we waiting for no election and all this thing. Immediately, these banner come out from there.
So who's gonna shut it down?
Because every morning they calling him from garden show crying out, they got them and get road them and get this and this. All these people doing is crying out and nothing doing for them. I want to know when they're gonna realize what really these men are doing.
How we shutting it down?
Yeah, come out in the streets. All we got come out in the streets. Watch every day is down there with you.
Okay.
Yeah? You don't see no Indian there. It's a black man is down there.
No. You have Indians. You have Indians.
I mean, that's another
Yeah,
problem
but what
too,
I'm saying,
caller.
we need more people and more young people out there.
Good. Instead of looking at the races, why don't we look at who's there?
Exactly.
It's not just Indians or black people that are out there, my brother. Everybody is out there.
I want to know why the Indian them are coming out. They don't come out.
They come out, man. You have them there,
People
but
come out. You
And
know what
we
the
need
thing
more
is?
young people out there.
We do need more young people, and I agree with you. And there are people who are working behind the scenes who you might
Yeah,
not
we need
see.
more young people out there.
And we have people in this movement who are black people, who are Amerindian people, who are Indian people. There are people in the movement, but it's just
guy come out there.
we have Amerindian people. I've personally spoken to Amerindian people who've come from Region 1 and Region 2, took that ferry, took that boat to come and make their voices heard because they are standing up for their nation. Lakono Nation, Arawak Nation,
Don't knock them,
Moro
brother.
Nation. You can't knock these people because they're coming to represent hundreds of people.
The protest late go long all the time. Every day just there.
I understand.
Don't knock them.
All right, thank you.
Don't knock them.
Thank you.
They'll come
And
out, man.
continue
They'll
to
come out.
stand up for your rights and continue to encourage people to come out for you. Indeed. But that's the problem. Like, people sometimes feel like this whole thing is so politicized.
No, I understand.
It's only African people out there. It's only Indian people. No.
No, Miss Harris.
It's Chinese people out
I
there.
understand the man's frustration.
I do.
Right? I feel the same way too.
Mhm.
When I stand up out there, when I go and I look at the race configuration, right?
Yeah.
I feel bad about it too. But
Mhm.
they are people of Indian.
Mhm. People come, people
But-
call, people text me all the time. After this program, I can tell you there's so many text messages come through. You guys are doing a good job, X, Y, and Z. We have a
Take the
caller?
call, take the call.
Caller, good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. Glenville.
Yes, good night.
Yeah. My opinion tonight is the only decent and honest person I find fit to run this country is Mr. Granger. Or I think you should run for president. I think that would be the best thing to do. Because the politician that they have there, everybody's stealing. And if you get a new one to go in there that has nothing, he will thief more than the ones that are in there. That's my contribution tonight. Thank you.
Hold on the line. I think I want to believe her. I want to stick with her. I believe that Granger had meant well. You know, and but I don't know why he's not speaking out. You know,
I think he's embarrassed.
I don't know why he's not speaking out, but I know that when the contract was signed, he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know the contract was signed. He was shocked when he heard that contract was signed. And many of the things that happened under his stewardship, he didn't know. Because remember he was sick.
Yes.
And every time had to be running, going to Cuba, this and that. So, and then to fatigue him with all these things, I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew half of the things that happened under him. But it is what it is.
I have a question here from someone who sent a WhatsApp.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who says, can all those Sioux contracts be rescinded by the courts of Guyana?
Yes.
Which
that's a
contract?
Beautiful
The Sioux
contract.
contracts.
So Mr. Sioux contracts?
Yeah, or is business, I assume they're talking about.
Sioux doesn't have contracts. I don't know of any contract.
So
Sioux
for
have
instance,
contracts.
like the land
What?
concessions that you mentioned.
Yes.
The what?
The land concessions.
Land concessions, yes,
Yes.
of course.
That's
all
a
those,
separate thing.
Oh,
So-
those permits and those.
So for instance, if there was a proper investigation.
Yeah, these fuel license, the gold license.
I think that's what they're
Yeah,
trying to
I think that's
Of
what they're
course,
trying to
all
ask.
these things can be
At the
revoked.
stroke of a pen.
At the stroke of a pen.
And can he be expelled from Guyana?
But the better question is, will it be rescinded?
If he's a resident of this
If
country,
he could be expelled from Guyana.
well, you gotta get immigration. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened, right? But I do know that if you come here and you get certain privileges and you don't meet the required taxes and duties and whatever comes with these concession and permits,
Yes.
then it can be rescinded.
I think so.
Or
But I think
in a jiffy.
the bureaucracy in the country is what prevents it. It's not that in principle it cannot be done.
But I am
it's in
told,
practicality.
but I'm told, Josh, that most of the things that landed in his hand is like a wheeler dealer. It's like a wheeler deal.
Yep.
It's not. I'm not certain if he's still directly involved in them.
Okay.
You know, the
I
man's
have-
a wheeler and a dealer.
I've got two questions here. Hi M. Someone says, hi M. Ask a question for me on your show. Why would Sue disappear if nothing is wrong? That's the first one. And the second one is, would the VP submit to a lie detector test by an independent authority?
Why would Sue disappear?
Yes, if nothing was wrong. Because remember, the Starbuck News reported that Mr. Sue has not been seen since February.
You really think Sue disappeared?
I mean, I have my...
No, man. Sue
I have my
disappear
theories.
nowhere, man. Sue's
in the back dam.
Sue just lying low.
Sue's
right?
in the back dam on one of his acres of concessions.
Mr. Sue just lying low somewhere.
Precisely.
You know, and when all this is blew over,
he will.
You know, everything in Guyana is a 7-day wonder. It blows over.
Yes.
But the only thing I will prove both the PVP and the PNC isn't a 7-day wonder is this oil.
Ah, indeed.
This oil is not a 7-day wonder.
Because it's been proven.
And they realized it. They talked about it since 2015 when we announced oil and we began writing stories upon stories showing what happened in Africa and other oil producing nations. They say, okay, that will disappear just now. But it has never and it will never.
Yes.
It will never, ever, ever stop in the books of the Kaieteur News or the Kaieteur Radio, and more so out of my mouth.
All
no.
Right.
Can you repeat that second
What
question?
about do you think the VP would submit to a lie detector test?
You want Mr. Sue? I don't think Mr. Jagdev should go through a lie detector
Mr.
test.
Jagdev won't do an interview.
The same. No. Oh, no, you're pushing it too far. If you listen carefully, if you watch carefully,
yes.
If you can play back the tape. Listen and you will see. You would hear for yourself. If you watch his face, you will see. If you listen, you will hear. Indeed. That he get caught. Play it back. Play the first one.
Stuttering and
play
spluttering.
the thing, man.
Let's hear him again.
Sue, Mr. Sue.
Sue?
What is your relationship with Mr. Sue Jerome?
Sue. My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes. He is a friend of ours. His father was here from many years ago.
I mean, he lives next door to you.
Yes. You're asking me to comment on someone whose business basically I don't know about. I don't get involved with him beyond the pleasantries and all of that.
Pleasantries?
I believe.
How interesting.
I believe.
How interesting.
You know
How
what?
interesting that you don't get involved with somebody beyond the pleasantries, yet they are in your living room, in your personal home, asking you to comment
and you're
on
saying,
business transactions.
And you're saying that I do everything for him.
Exactly. And you are telling me this is an intergenerational relationship because you don't know, you just don't know Mr. Sue. You know Mr. Sue's father as well. Mr. Sue. Mr. Grand Sue.
Man, the person still want a lie
detector test? I don't know. I feel like...
No, man, you don't need that anymore.
So the person...
I hope that answer your lie detector.
Exactly. I don't feel like we need that. So another question from the same individual.
Go ahead.
I think if the VP starts a national oil company or partners in September for the oil company, then I seriously think this country is finished. What are your comments on if the VP decides to start a national oil company?
Oh boy. Oh boy. A national oil company. This country is doomed.
Yeah.
Along with the Wales gas, the plant, this country is doomed.
Indeed.
This country is doomed. I saw what happened with many countries, including Angola.
Yes.
With DeSantis' son.
Isabel DeSantis.
His son. He put his son, the young kid,
I forget
to
his
run
name.
the national oil
Antonio
company.
Minister of Oil.
I forget his
And
name.
he run it like if it's a personal
bank account.
A national oil company, they will put people. They will put company and say it's a Chinese company again.
I mean,
everything is a Chinese company, man.
Yes.
You know, here the people said that Beijing is directly involved with these projects. All these projects going to
Beijing.
To Beijing.
But here's the next thing. The next part. There is an initiative, the BRICS initiative. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and who's the K? I don't want to stipulate, but
Mhm.
there's a
BRICS,
BRICS initiative.
BRICS,
And Isabel dos Santos,
Mhm.
her brother, Jose dos Santos,
Mhm.
is a Russian citizen also. So you see what's happening with these people, right? You see that the West is separating itself from the Russians and the rest of them. And then you see the Russians are coalescing with the Brazilians and the rest of them. What do you think is going to happen there? Because remember, the oil prices are shooting up because the Russians are saying that they're no longer supplying the West with oil. So now we have Brazil, who is joining with
Do we need?
India, who's
Do we
joining
need?
with China.
Do we need to confuse the people with this thing, or do we need to have this program simple?
Let's make it simple, but
Well,
I
let's
see
ha-
a lot of
let's-
things happening, but I
let-
don't know what to make of it.
You don't know what to make of
I
it.
don't know what to make of it. That's
The
why
people
I'm
are
asking you.
the BRICS is now trying to sideline
Uh-huh. NATO.
the big power.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The North American
So let's
trade.
let's don't confuse the
It's a lot of
people in that.
geopolitics that's happening
Exactly.
right now.
I
It's
have a
very
simple
confusing for
question.
most
Yes,
people.
simple question.
You mentioned how wealthy Mr. Sue is.
Mm-hmm.
Is he in the top 10 wealthy people in this country?
Top 5.
I would say so. Yes.
I would say
I would
top
say
5.
So he
He's
would be
very
the-
wealthy.
So
He's
he
very
would
wealthy.
be the richest foreigner in this country.
He's very wealthy. He made a lot of money. Whether he made the money for himself or for his country,
Gotcha.
that what I don't know. That
Gotcha.
one I don't.
Gotcha.
But
Because you see what's happening. If you notice, it's very clear in that investigation what Vice News bring out
Yes.
that China uses middlemen
yes.
to corroborate and corrupt
Correct.
your leaders.
Yes.
So
Right?
he's
But
just a
what
middleman.
happens to that money? My opinion is that most of this money doesn't end up circulating in the local economy.
No.
It gets shipped out to China and to all these
Exactly.
other countries.
Exactly.
Did
exactly.
you forget the
Exactly.
interview
Nothing
mentioned
stays
about
here.
the fly?
Uh-huh.
The fly was the term they used,
Miss
Joshua?
Miss
Fly
Harris,
with a
these people do not even purchase a property to live in,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
They prefer to rent,
Yes.
so that anytime they get caught,
Yes.
they just jump on the plane and gone,
Yes.
or they jump at some border and disappear.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Sue, they can't find Sue. You
But
understand?
what happens to Mr. Sue's business? Say, for instance, Mr. Sue disappears for the next 5 to 10 years.
Mr. Sue business done transfer into
Somebody else's-
into Lee and
Yes.
into Plea and all
And
all the Chinese
Jason
names.
and Basin and
Yeah.
this other person.
All right,
Another question?
you gotta go. The people are telling you have to leave the radio station.
What? Already?
Yes. Do
We
you
just
have
told
any
you
other
to
disc?
I have more questions.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Give the questions. You gotta hold with us. Give us a break.
All right, so
Yeah.
GT Starboy says, how would one know that the worth of a man if he's not tried and tested? What Guyanese have right now as a government has had 25 years and counting doing the same thing and expect different results. So it's clear to see they are tired, they're tried and tested, and so far negative results. New leadership in the APNU AFC camp is worth a try than what Guyanese are dealing with right now. So I guess he's probably saying that.
He's correct. He's correct. He's correct. They have not. We have tested that there's no change within them, and it's not only in the APNU AFC. It's in all of them. All of them.
Indeed. I
You know.
agree.
You know when I listen, I was in Africa and they sent me a little tape with Ramjatan telling Christopher,
Yeah.
well, if you want a better deal, farm a political party. I was like, no, I didn't hear this. I did not hear this thing. And I plan to play the thing, in my program sometime next week.
That's
or
an
so.
interesting one, actually.
You know, it's so sad, you know.
That's
So
something.
the gentleman know what he's talking about. These people have been tested, and proven that there's nothing more in them to bring forth, that they can bring about a change,
Yeah.
in this country.
Yeah.
So you have to go seek better leadership elsewhere. You must. You have to.
Do you think that takes
You
the
have
form
to.
of a new political party? A
Whether,
new
whether it's a
social
new political
movement?
party or they step down and allow people
Yes.
with new vision,
Yes.
new ideas,
Uh-huh.
you know, new people with ideas and solutions.
Yes.
If not, this country will not move,
I
will not
understand.
change for the next 2-3 decades to come.
Mhm.
The oil will come and you wouldn't move anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
That is
So,
something that,
and that is something people need to understand.
Yes.
You need to understand this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That you must get change.
Indeed.
It's like having Glenn Lall here. If Glenn Lall doesn't bring anything new on the program, you know, you walk away, you don't want to hear him. You know, you gotta come with something new, something energizing, something innovative, you know, that keeps you want to listen.
Yes,
you know?
it's true.
But when your old tricks and your old tantrum, you know,
It doesn't work
we
after
building
a while.
road, oh we building school, oh we building hospital, and you keep thieving the people money, you know, over and over, like you have no shame, you know. Come on. I get tired. You know?
I think that's
I feel
what's-
very disgusted
Exactly.
about you people.
I think many of the citizens who are commenting agree with you. They feel very disgusted with the leadership that they have, APNU, AFC, KFC, whoever else. They're very disgusted and disappointed because the leaders are not reflecting the what they want, what their desires are. So if you have elected representatives who are supposed to address your issues and concern, and they're just ignoring you, then what does that tell you? If you're a member of the AFC, PNC, PPP, whoever else, if your leaders are not responding positively to what you have to contribute, then what does that tell you?
I
You need
know.
new leaders.
I know.
We got someone?
Can you hold 1 second? This is the last call.
Uh-huh.
This is the last caller. Good evening, sir. You're live on the air.
Yeah, Mr. Glenn Lall. If Mr. Jack Bill thinks...
You got to slow your television. You got to slow your television.
Yeah, you got to keep it down. Mr. Glenn, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, but there's a lot of background noise.
Slow down the television. Yeah. So you got to slow down the television.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were
I was
saying.
saying that the leaders, the citizens, the people who elect these representatives are looking for more from their leaders. Because it's not enough to say that we vote for you, but then you don't represent our interests. So why have we put you in a position to represent our interests and then we hear nothing from you? For example,
Yes. Good evening, sir. Hold 1 second, please.
yes,
Your caller, the background of your home or wherever you are is too noisy. We cannot handle the call.
Yes.
Yeah, Miss Harris, the people of this country,
what can we do to get our leaders to respond, our elected representatives?
they cannot do better. They doesn't know how to do better. If their hands, their feet, their pocket, their tongues, their eyes, and their ears is tied with check leaves from foreign,
What can we do?
what
Yes.
else can we do?
What can we do?
You know?
Yeah.
Look, it's happening all over, man. I've traveled, I've seen it. You know? And the first thing I've been saying all along, and let me end by saying this, man.
Okay.
The first thing that oil companies does when they go into your country, Uncle and Auntie, they line the pockets of the politicians,
Yes.
the leaders of the country.
Yes. Yes.
Then they create chaos and confusion.
Yes.
And while
While
we
we
fight
fight
among
among
ourselves, Uncle and Auntie,
Indeed.
they fetch away every single thing.
That's right. Yes.
That is what oil company does.
Yes.
All over the world they did it.
Yes.
Tried and tested.
Yes.
All over the world they did it. And this is what all these foreign companies out of the oil do when they come to countries. They corrupt your leaders. This is why they have to hide the contracts from the nation. We can't get to see what's going on. This is why you people need to wake up. You need to stand up and you need to speak up.
Yes.
When you see them, ask them, where is the contract? How can we see the contract, the deal y'all signed with Zinjin, Omai, Troy Resources, Barama, Rongan, whoever.
And so many.
You know?
Yep.
And let them don't tell you that, well, oh, is the coalition government sign it? Or the PPP government sign it? Just ask them, how can you see it? That's how you will know what you're getting. You don't want to hear who signed it.
Yes. You want to see it.
You want to see it, uncle.
Hear this one.
Yes.
You want to hear some music?
Yeah, go ahead,
Enjoy
abuse me.
This one. Hear this. Jack Deo is the best.
Yeah.
Jack Deo taught Glenn, Harris, and the other clown a lot already. But these people are dancers.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear the music? I told you the music.
Go ahead, yeah.
Dancers.
The person said,
Jack Deo
Deo.
taught us a lot, and we
Yeah.
are dancers.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
we don't understand what Mr. Jack Deo is teaching. So
Yeah.
I apologize that my Ivy League education did not teach me to understand Mr. Jack Deo
Oh.
and his ramblings.
Just
I sincerely apologize to you.
Yeah, tell the
people.
individual, I'm so sorry, my friend.
We're so sorry. We
that
don't
that
understand
what
the
Mr. Jack Deo
ramblings
taught us.
of a liar and a madman.
We still can't.
We can't understand it. We apologize to you sincerely, caller. If you have any issues, please feel free to contact us. 6222222.
End it.
All right. So
we're going to go out with I believe. So we believe what the VP said, right?
No.
We believe.
No, let's end it on a positive note about emancipation.
Yes.
Honestly, I sometimes feel a little bit two-sided about this whole emancipation thing because I think sincerely that we're not yet emancipated mentally or physically from the throes of the colonial occupiers or whoever. And I think as a people, we need to examine how we live, the morals, the values, the ethics that we have, the way that we create our society. And then we need to really, really, really dig deep within ourselves and understand what it is to be free, what we want as people. First of all, as human beings. And then we can decide what we want as a nation, as a people. But to be free, you have to be free individually first before you decide you're going to tell other people what freedom is. That's all I have to say.
All
Happy
right.
emancipation to you, Guyana.
Happy emancipation to Guyana.
Which number?
And I love you guys. So until Wednesday.